President Trump is heading to Pennsylvania in a few hours to campaign for GOP congressional candidate Rick Saccone. He is competing against Democrat Connor Lamb in a race that's being billed as a key test for November. The Lamb campaign not returning our phone calls, but Rick Saccone is here, and he is only here. Thank you so much for coming in. Appreciate it, Rick.
Thanks, David. A pleasure to be on your show.
Let me just spell out the media narrative, because these things play out in the mainstream media, and I want to get your reaction to it. It's that you're up against the best the Democrats have. He's a former Marine. He's a tall, handsome, young guy, and game over. They even are suggesting that some Republicans are saying that as well. Your response?
Well, as far as I know, those are unnamed sources. I don't put any credence in that. His resume is very thin. Yeah, he's a Marine and he's tall. I have 18 and a half years in the United States Air Force. I have a career in academia, education, international business, state legislature, diplomacy, and government. So I have a long resume. I'm the most experienced, qualified person. So we're ready to go. We're ready to roll.
Now, there's an even further twist in that narrative that I spelled out, that they're trying to overplay the possibilities of Congress win that the Republicans are, in order to sort of give you an edge, make you the surprise winner. Is there an attempt? Have you seen any attempt by Republicans to kind of downplay your chances in order to get more Republicans to come out and vote?
I haven't seen that. We have a great get out the vote effort here. I've always been, I relish being the underdog. I won my first state house race in a 76% Democrat district with $1,500 that my wife and I saved up to start the campaign. No one thought we could win. I've won 4 elections since then. This is my 5th one. So I always love defying all the so-called experts and their predictions.
Now, the president coming tonight, I mean, that's a tremendous boost, particularly because he's so good at these speeches in front of a crowd. And it comes right on the heels of these tariffs. Now, you're in steel country. There's probably no place in the country that more represents steel country than yours. A lot of that, of course, went away, but the president wants to bring that back, and the tariffs are one way he thinks that'll be done. Are you going to play that up in the campaign?
Well, you know, I'm coming to you from Steel City, so this is very important here. I've always supported the steel industry, and I support our steel workers. And our steel workers can compete with anybody in the world as long as the playing field is level, but that playing field has been slanted. President Trump's just trying to restore some balance to the playing field here, and I want to help him. I'm ready to go down there and be his wingman and help him to implement that agenda.
Now, isn't Connor Lamb in favor of the tariffs as well? So both you and your opponent favor these things.
Well, if you're from the Pittsburgh area, you should be in favor of this. It would be hard not to be. It would be foolish not to be.
What about the unions? The predecessor, the man you're replacing, had support of the unions, one of the rare Republicans who had support of unions. They hadn't been warming up to you, but is the tariff issue helping them to warm up to you? I know it must encourage the steelworkers union.
Well, I think it's kind of a myth from the other side. I mean, my opponent loves to shine the shoes of the union leadership, but you know what? I'll take the work boots of the rank and file members. They've always voted for me. They've supported me in my House races. They'll come out and they'll vote for me because they know I bring back jobs. The other side, they support candidates that are for sanctuary cities, illegal aliens, open borders, taxing and regulation of business, driving them out of the state and out of the country even. So that hurts union workers. They can compete, as I said, very well, but I'm for bringing jobs to Pennsylvania, always have been. They know that, and they support me. And by the way, they're also usually pro-life and pro-gun, and they're strong on the social issues with me, so they'll side with me.
Speaking of jobs, we had this incredible jobs number on Friday, much bigger than expected. It led to a huge increase in the stock market, et cetera. Tax cuts, clearly, at worst, they're not hurting job growth. At best, they are responsible for the job growth. Nancy Pelosi first taunted the tax cuts, saying that they were just amounted to crumbs. She's trying to walk that back a little bit now, but do you think she and the Democratic Party are labeled with calling these tax cuts that seem to be so successful just crumbs?
Yes, the Democratic Party has always been against the taxpayers. So this tax cut is helping the taxpayers. It goes over very well in this district. Every day, it seems, people are still coming up to me and telling me about how it's benefiting them, single moms and small businesses that are expanding. I just had another business tell me about they're going to blow out a wall and move into the next room and expand their business. Other businesses are adding to their employees health care or giving bonuses to them. Some are buying some equipment that they've been holding off on for a while, but now they feel like they can afford it. Some are going to hire new employees. The tax cut is still having, and it's just getting started. We've got a whole year ahead of us to see what happens. I was just talking to a candy manufacturer that says that discretionary spending has resulted in a soaring sales for his business, and he credits it to the tax cut. So there's a lot of good things going on. The Democrats, every one of them voted against it. My opponent would have voted against it. He would have stood with them just like that. So they can take no credit for it. So they hate it. They're gnashing their teeth every time we get another good tax report or another unemployment report that's good. They're gnashing their teeth because they had nothing to do with it.
Well, is your opponent trying to distance himself in any way from Nancy Pelosi and others who belittled the tax cuts?
Yes, in the beginning he was for her. Now in January he came out against her, and he's been distancing himself from her. But, you know, the funny thing is, the evidence is he's got all her little lieutenants all around him. All the little sock puppets of Nancy Pelosi are leading him around by the nose, and they were out there yesterday.
Well, let me just ask specifically, you're saying that Nancy Pelosi has sent people to help him out with his campaign?
All the people that support her. Steny Hoyer was out here. We have Mike Doyle, our liberal governor. They're all out there. They're all supporting Nancy Pelosi. They're the people that are supporting my opponent. So they're all around him.
Of course, you also had Joe Biden come out to support him.
We even had the crazy uncle, Joe Biden, the uncle that every family has that doesn't want to admit. Even he came out. They're pulling out all the stops. But people can see that. They're laughing at them. You know, that's not going to help him.
Rick Saccone, we got to leave it at that. Best of luck to you. There's Joe Biden, by the way, meeting your opponent. Have fun tonight. I know the president puts on a fine party.
It's going to be great.
All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.